We've always heard it. Join coding boot camps, join coding programs. Well, is it worth spending the money to join a coding program? Do you eventually learn? Who is it best for? Beginners, intermediates? Well, today I'm going to be talking about coding programs and one in specific that I have been in for the past 2 years. If you've been following me on social media or if you've been following my journey, some of you may know that I have been in a summer program which eventually turned into like a half a year type of program for coding, and I just want to share my experience, give a little bit of a review, and talk about what I think coding programs provide. Hello everyone and welcome back to Cracking the Code's YouTube channel. We are in our new space over here. If you haven't seen that, you can click on the eye over here, I believe it's this way, and that video will link you to my tech setup where I build it so you can go watch it. But the program in specific that I am going to be talking about is called Stemming Up by VOLUTION. Based in Toronto, Canada, VOLUTION is the go-to place for youth and particularly young women from underserved communities to come together in order to advance their 21st century skills. They exist to create opportunities for the next generation of STEM. One of the programs that VOLUTION hosts is called Stemming Up, which is a course preparing 13 to 17-year-old girls in Ontario for a career in tech. Essentially, you will be learning many skills: design thinking, coding, app building, front and back-end development, prototyping, analytical thinking, business, and leadership skills. A lot of things to learn from this program. Now let me give you a little backstory of how I got into this program at first. So I didn't know this program beforehand. No one had told me about it. What I did is that I went to a STEM fair in my community. Now, I know this is pre-COVID. This is still 2020, but this is February, 1 month before lockdown. So the STEM fair was in person. And when I went to the STEM fair, I saw a lot of booths and I saw the VOLUTION booth. They were there. And I decided to sign up for their program because their program sounded so good and unreal to me. I was like, how is this even a thing? I joined the program, I applied, I got in, I was very surprised that I got in, but I got in. And in the beginning when I joined, the Stemming Up program was just a summer program. It was something that went on for a month in the summer, taking 4 to 5 hours of our day. It was almost structured like school, but you have the rest of the day to yourself, and this happened online. Originally it was supposed to happen in person, but we know what happened. Essentially at 10 a.m. in the morning, from all the partners VOLUTION has, they have a lot of partners: Google, Shopify is the biggest one, Citrix Canada, Zapata Computing. People from the companies will come and speak, or people from externally will come and speak about these business skills. This includes UX design, UI design, robotics, artificial intelligence, running a business, various skills that are needed not only in tech, but just to have a career in tech. Then we would get a little bit of a break from around 11 to 11:30, we get a half an hour break. And 11:30 to 1:30, we had coding sessions. Now, we have a coding session every single day in the morning, and we would have a speaker session every single day in the morning. So for 2 hours, we would be put into breakout rooms with a group of girls. It wasn't big. I think there was like max 10, 15 people in a session, and there would be a coding trainer. Now, this coding trainer would essentially have a plan, slides that VOLUTION has made in the past, or slides that they've made as well, to teach us from the ground up on that computer science skill. Now, what I noticed really quickly is that this was a program for beginners. Perfect for me, because I did not know how to code that well. I had done maybe Harvard CS50 course, so I was like halfway through before I joined the program, and I was essentially just trying to figure out what coding is because it was just so hard for me to believe. Then essentially, twice a week in the afternoons, so around 2 to 3 o'clock, I believe, we would meet with a different group of girls. So it would just be the students in a breakout room, and this was like 5 people max in each group. And this is your group that you will be with to solve the problem that VOLUTION has given us. Now, this problem in 2020 was very real world and related to COVID-19. They had given us lots of topics to choose from. Some of them were frontline worker support, care for our seniors, youth mental health in pandemic, and yeah, there were more, but a lot of people chose those three. And we essentially had to come up with a solution, create a prototype, and pitch it by the end of the program. The program was 20 days, so it was a very crash course-ish, in a sense of you didn't have too much time to process what you learned, but therefore it was for beginners because then they would go at a slower pace of what they teach. Now, fast forward, I did Python my first year. I learned how to code in Python, and there were teams that were using JavaScript as well. Now, fast forward, I've learned basics of Python. This is essentially where I learned all my Python knowledge, and I had a trainer that I could ask my questions to. There were also multiple trainers. We all communicated on Slack. We also got lots of information on programs that we can apply to, such as Shopify's dev degree. And at the end of the program, we pitched our idea, our prototype, but there wasn't a lot of time to code our problem. Now, what happened is it was kind of an initiative to bring our idea out at the end. What we had done is created a prototype for frontline worker support, and we wanted to create an app that would help frontline workers during the pandemic. Now, this app didn't come to realization in life. It did not become a real thing because we decided not to work on it after the program just because of school and everything else. Wrap up of first year of the Stemming Up program, I learned Python. I got an idea of how to pitch. I got a lot of resources of programs I can join. That's where I learned about my RBC NGI hackathon. Once again, the video should pop up on the corner of your screen. That I have a vlog about that as well. And yeah, I learned so many things on my first year. I got the base of my coding down. So essentially in year 2 of the Stemming Up program, there is a year 2 because there was still a coding language that I had not learned, which was JavaScript that they were teaching. And it was very easy to get into second year if you had been in the first year of the program. Now, in the second year of the program, once again, it was in summer, but VOLUTION had announced that they're going to have a phase 1 and phase 2 of the program. Phase 1 being exactly what the program was last year, of just like in the summer, you come up with an idea or you come up with a solution of a problem that exists that they give you. And this time around, the problems were much more technical. The problems this time were to create a landing page for membership registration for a business for an organization called World Changing Kids. Then there was also improving customer buying experience, creating membership portals, and then there were 5 problems, and essentially what you would do is choose the problem you would go into, and once again, like the last year, you learn JavaScript, you have speakers in the morning, you have much more resources, and then by the end of the program, you have to pitch the solution you came up with. Now, because this was more technical, we had coaches, a lot more coaches and a lot more mentors to help us brainstorm, and a lot of trainers to help us actually build our knowledge. Now, for us, it was JavaScript, and learning JavaScript includes HTML and CSS. The challenge that I was given with my group was to create a landing page for World Changing Kids. Now, we were team JavaScript. There was also a team Python working on the exact same problem. We're essentially going head-to-head and creating a solution to this problem. So what my team and I did is that we used Canva to design our website prototype. And we essentially created how we want our website to look, the flow of the website. We also mapped out, if you click what header, where should it go, and tried to create the proper flow of a website so that youth and adults could find this website engaging, but also straightforward. At the end of this program, we gave a 10 to 15 minute pitch on what we did in phase 1, what we came up with, and we went head to head with the team Python. The results came out, and they integrated what team Python, team JavaScript did, because both had good elements that they liked. Now, the people that were watching us during our pitch were people from Shopify, and they were also asking us questions at the end, which was very nerve-wracking, but also very fun to do. Now it was time for phase 2. Phase 2 is the part where you actually code the stuff that you did. Unlike the previous year of year 1 in my Stemming Up program, how we didn't get to do it afterwards because it was a lot of initiative to do it on our own. In phase 2 of year 2, they actually give you the resources of continuing what you started. Essentially, we set up a date every Saturday, online once again, to work on our project and actually code it and bring it to life. This time we were given different coaches and they were kind of technical. So there were people working at Shopify, there were people that could code, people who were in UX, UI design that will actually help us create this website and bring it to life. What we did in the beginning, we tried to set up a Shopify store and go on the CLI and kind of integrate our code from there, and a lot was happening and too much was happening, so we decided to stick to Replit. And on Replit, we would all collaborate on our code. We used a Google spreadsheet for our workflow to make sure our workflow was nice and straightforward. We made sure to get tasks done, and essentially we coded a website over the 3-4 months that we had. So July to August end was the first phase, and September to December end was the second phase. And in the second phase, with the 4 months that we had while doing school, we all essentially created this website that looked like our original design, had a workflow, and we achieved of creating a landing page for membership registration. And then the technical trainers that we had at Shopify pushed our code onto the Shopify servers and pushed it onto the Shopify store so that the founder of World Changing Kids, Lindsay, could access it and add more and take out whatever she did not like a part of our code. So overall, my thoughts on the Stemming Up program. Absolutely loved it. I got so much out of this program, a lot more than what people think. I learned how to code in JavaScript, I learned how to code in Python, also HTML and CSS. I got to build my portfolio, which is very essential when you're trying to go in for a career in tech. I got resources, I got connections, networking with people that are already in the industry, and because of this hands-on experience, I actually felt more confident when I was coding, not to mention all the other things I learned because of those speakers in the morning that would speak about UX design, UI design, how the flow of a website should go. Just the workshops itself were amazing. And honestly, this program was definitely worth it. The VOLUTION Stemming Up program is beautiful. If you can apply, make sure you do. The applications usually open in April or May of the year, so it will be the 2022 year, and you can stay for max of 2 years in this program, and then you can move on to, actually joining VOLUTION or doing something else. For me personally, I'm on the Stemming Up committee and I am the vice chair of the Stemming Up committee, so I'm helping out in VOLUTION now. I'm letting other youth know about this program and helping with the outreach of the program. But yes, that was my experience at Stemming Up. There was a lot of times of confusion. It was a coding boot camp, but the first year of my program I was confused and I didn't know what to do sometimes, because coding is like that. You cannot expect a coding program to have you not confused all the time, because you're going to be confused. It also created such a great support system for me because there were so many other girls in that program, and there was so many other people that were sharing their experience of coding. So yes, coding programs are worth it. Don't pay too much for coding programs that if you don't see it matching with your requirements, but honestly, if you practice what you learn, coding programs are worth it. So that was my thoughts on VOLUTION Stemming Up program. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, comment down below if you have any suggestions for videos. If not, it's okay. But yes, I will put a link in the description of where you can apply for this specific program I'm talking about. It only applies to a certain demographic of people, But if you find any coding programs, you can also drop those in the comments below. And until then, I will see you guys later. Continue to crack the code.
No matter what I do, I take my dues, I give me hope. I feel some type of way, I think my brain is going dumb. We drunk and drinking 40s, Coca-Cola mixed with rum. I ran away from you, I feel like everything is fun. So now I turn a 2 into a 3 just like the run. And I just last for some days, and I think that